All right, we're up to episode number 4. And in reality, none of this is going to come as a shock to you. But in this episode, I want to talk with you about building a systematic approach to converting prospects, right? We need to be able to convert prospects to clients in a consistent way, because so much of building a successful, sustainable business is about, just mitigating your own stress and being able to focus on working with the right people and delivering the results you want. And if you don't have a predictable way to take the prospects that you have and turn a handful of them each and every month into clients, you're going to struggle, right? Because no matter what you do, nobody has a consistent 100% retention rate. Even if you're doing things at a really high level, retaining 95, 96% of clients month over month is really good. And that means we have to be able to outpace that, even that low level of attrition, if we want to earn a meaningful income for the work that we're putting in, the impact that we're making. And I think that we understand inherently this idea of, hey, I'm going to have a program design system. And, we may have a specific way that we do warm-ups or mobility work. We may have a specific way that we do strength or power or conditioning. We may have a specific way that we kind of coach people to eat or recover. But when it comes to moving people from prospect to client, we kind of fly by the seat of our pants a lot of the time, right? Like, we don't have a consistent process. And so much of what we do is built around moving somebody from interested to ready. Because let's face it, what we do is a commitment. What we ask of clients is not only a commitment of money, it's a commitment of time and energy and getting out of their comfort zone and probably getting over some internal demons, if you will, right? Feelings of failure at different points. Maybe they've tried things and they didn't work in the past, or they're not happy with the way that they look and feel now, and that's disappointing to them. And we've got to ask people to move past that. And that's not just this impulsive, instantaneous decision. Oh, hey, I saw this ad for a gym, I think I'm going to go sign up. Usually there's a bit of a process that people go through. So we need to have a really rock solid plan to follow up with people along this journey. Because, if somebody shows an interest in the type of things that we offer, not even specifically with our business, there's plenty of data out there that says if somebody shows an interest, 80% of them, are going to buy at some point. 50% of them are probably going to buy between that 6-month and 2-year mark, right? But very few of them buy within that first 90 days. So when we think about this, the numbers probably aren't that relevant as far as the timelines. What you need to know is when somebody starts to show an interest in something this meaningful, it's usually not an impulsive thing where they get going. They've been thinking about it for a while, right? They think about it for a couple months, 3 months. And then they pull the trigger and make a decision sometime after that, depending on how bad the desire is, how big the problem feels, or maybe, how their schedule kind of lines up. It could be as simple as, hey, I'm not going to start a fitness program during the summer. I'm going to wait till my kids get back in school. Or, it might be, hey, wait a minute, this deadline of me going and having to wear this dress at this wedding or go to this class reunion or whatever else is coming up. Or I have a vacation, and so I need to get on the ball. So you never know what's going to trigger somebody. But if you're not in a place where you convert prospects to clients, you're not following up with them, you're always going to feel like you're struggling. You're working from a deficit. You're going to see people walk out the door and have this desperation. Oh, I have to go replace them. I have to get new clients, because you don't have this kind of pipeline that's always full and feeding you new business month after month. So what do we need to do to make that happen? Well, the first thing that we have to do is know who our person is, right? Like, we have to know that the person that we're best served or best suited to help is who we're connecting with. And, it can be as simple as thinking of it this way. Like, if you were only going to get paid for the results you were delivering, who would you help, right? Who do you have the most confidence that you can go help, that you would enjoy helping, that you can really, be the ideal mentor to? And then we need to, once we come in contact with that person, we want to really follow up with them on a consistent basis. I mean, the 3 times a week stuff that we always talk about, we want to follow up with them with emails 3 times a week, but that's one layer of this, right? I mean, we can use podcasts, we can use text messages, we can make phone calls, we can send direct mail pieces, we can put people in a free Facebook group, but we want to create these kind of lines of communication, these kind of bonds of connection where we help them get to know us, like us, and trust us. And those 3 things a lot of times kind of get bundled together, but my friend and marketing expert Dean Jackson likes to talk about, hey, this is know, period, like, period, trust, period. And they may be aware of the lead magnet you put out, but they may not know anything about you and your business. I mean, it's amazing how many businesses in each of our respective communities we are just really unfamiliar with. I mean, there are businesses that, are in my 2-mile radius that, probably every week or two, I notice another one. Just, okay, I drove down this road, or I was looking for this thing on my phone and this other thing popped up. And that's just normal, right? Like, because people don't notice you until they're looking for you a lot of the time. So they need to know you. They need to know who you're for, what you're about. So we have to put that in front of them. We have to make sure that in what we're sending out and what we're making available to the public, people can kind of start to get a feel for the fact that we might be the right fit for them. We might be the best solution of all the options available for that person. And then, ideally, if we're going to follow up with people in a conversational way that makes them feel important, that validates them, that gives them things of value, information and education, then hopefully they're going to get to like us. They're going to like what they hear because they feel like it's for them, right? And people tend to gravitate to people that make them feel important, that make them feel appreciated. So we want to send a follow-up that's about them, not necessarily about us. And then finally, the way that people trust us a lot of times in the world that we live in today, a lot of it's about social proof. Everybody wants to tell you they're an expert. Everybody wants to tell you they're the best at what they do. But if you've got case studies, if you've got testimonials from people like the people that you're marketing to now, if you've got things that you can put in front of people that may, say, hey, I helped this person in your neighborhood. I helped this person you might know. Maybe you go to the same church. Maybe your kids go to the same school. If you've got reviews on Google, on Facebook, that suggest that, hey, I can trust you. You know what? You are who you say you are. That's a big, big step in the process. And then we have to make offers very regularly. We have to keep offers in front of people, whether it be the little super signatures that we always do, engagement offers, or deadline-driven offers. We have to keep offers in front of people because everybody's on their own clock. Everybody's on their own timeline. So we have to make sure that we've got this kind of pipeline in place that kind of intersperses education and motivation with offers. And if we're doing that, odds are we're going to kind of have that know, like, and trust factor really fulfilled in the way that we need to. And if we're making this customized and personalized to the target market we want to reach, then we're going to be in pretty good shape. And then finally, we've got to be okay with selling. We've got to be okay with asking for what we're asking for in exchange for what we provide. And so many people in our world are not, right? Like so many people in our industry are afraid to ask for money because maybe they got money hangups, they don't have money, they question their value, they don't like rejection. All those things are valid to a point, but that if you pick the right person to market to, the right person to serve, you can change somebody's life. The impact that you can have on their life is profound. And, odds are that's probably worth a lot more than you're charging. So you need to be okay with asking and, have a process in place that makes it such that you can consistently ask people, hey, where do you want to go? What do you feel like is holding you back? And once they've told you, okay, I can be prescriptive. I can say, here's how we can work together to help you get past those challenges and get to the place that you want to be. Here's what you're going to have to do. Here's how much it's going to cost. Would you like to do this together? And if we do this, if we've got this follow-up process in place like clockwork, if we're making consistent offers, if we're refining the offer to a point that it speaks to the person we want to reach, they feel like, hey, this is something that's valuable for me, it's a good deal, it's going to help me get to where I want to go, it's probably different than some of the things I've tried in the past. And then we've got a sales process that is client-centric. It's not all about us, it's not bullying somebody into buying something, it's basically helping somebody decide and us being the partner in that journey. If we have that in place, then selling is not really that big a problem. And if we're getting the right people in, we are getting them results, right? And if we're getting them results, we can probably keep them longer. We probably retain people better. And we can build a referral system, a simple referral system, where we're asking for introductions to new people, or we're providing invitations for people to bring people with them. And if we're doing those two things with people who already like us and are probably willing to speak on our behalf and be ambassadors for us, well, we're not going to have any problem growing the business and growing the business in a way that makes us happy and doesn't really cause us a bunch of additional stress. So that's the next piece of the puzzle. And yeah, so much of what we do is that, but I want you to see it for what it is and how it fits into the bigger picture. Because if you have this in place, it makes everything else easier and it allows you to really take some of the pressure off. Because when you have a system in place, it becomes fine-tuning, it becomes improvement. It becomes this thing that, okay, how do I make it better, rather than, okay, I'm just going to try the next shiny object, throw it against the wall, hope something sticks. Instead, say, okay, this is the process that we're going to use to follow up. This is the stuff that we know we need to say and do to attract the type of people we want and help them make an informed decision that hopefully leads them to us. And then we're going to do a sales consultation that allows them to really talk about where they want to go, and we can make sure it's a right fit on both sides. Because if somebody says, this is where I want to go, and it's not something that you do, or maybe it's unrealistic, or this is what's holding me back, and man, I don't help with that, well, then we can say no as well. So having this system makes all the difference when it comes to really building a successful business. Plus, in our case as independent business owners, with so many of the people that we compete against in the franchising world, they're going to have bigger ad budgets most of the time. They're going to have more visible real estate. We have to do something different to stay in front of people and to build relationships and stand out and kind of carve out our own path. And this approach will allow us to do that. It'll allow us to put the clients first, and we may spend less and get better results in the process. So that's number 4. We've got episode number 5 on how you're going to stand out and succeed in 2021 and beyond up next. Thanks for watching. If you click the first link in either the description or the link in the pinned comment, you can get my latest book, The Ideal Business Formula, for free. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button for me. If you have any questions or comments or video requests, leave me a comment below and I'll be quick to respond. And lastly, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm posting videos weekly now, and if you turn your notification bell on, you'll be sure to get them all.